Good morning, traders. Welcome back for another live trading session as I do the technical analysis just before the London session starts, and starts in about 5 minutes. So we're about 5 to 8 in the UK. So at the moment, the technical analysis we've been doing has been going pretty well, and I think I TP'd on the euro dollar and the USD earlier this week, so on Monday and Tuesday or yesterday, and I re-entered into a new position based off of our analysis that the GBP USD is likely going to continue into the upside. So I'll go through all of this in just a moment. So I was pretty happy that we finally TP'd on the euro US dollar. It was a pretty big a great opportunity to enter into the market at that point in time. So what I'll do is, because I know there's a lot of information going here, I'll remove. Yeah, let me move this out. I'll remove this stuff, guys. Let me remove this out. So what I was anticipating yesterday on the daily market breakdowns is that we were likely going to see a slight pullback before pushing back into the upside toward this potential weekly liquidity zone. And we seem to be in that at the moment. And I didn't enter into this position, but I did on the GBP USD. And we can see that now. So I'm up at 318. So actually, to be fair, guys, I hadn't realized that I could actually enter into these positions using trading views, paper trading charts. So although I'm in this position on the MT trader, which I can't show you here, but we can see that what it would have been on the MT trader entering into that position. So I'm just trying this out at the moment. And it seems to be doing pretty well. So it's up $300 at the moment. Right, let's drop back over to the DXY. Right, so if we do a top-down analysis on the DXY and across a lot of our major currency pairs, we are seeing that the DXY is pushing into a downward trajectory. And how far this goes is, of course, still up for analysis. But we have seen that the price pushed up quite aggressively. This is on the daily time frame, by the way, guys. Pushed down extremely aggressively, changing character, and now we are in this kind of precarious area where we could see a potential continuation into the downside. I'm just a little bit careful of this 200 EMA. However, the point is that we saw the price come up. Let me remove this yellow part here. Some of the analysis from last week. So we saw that the price push back up, grabbing whatever liquidity that was likely resting above this previous high here. And this is a nice indication that the DXY is likely then going to continue pushing back down. So then we have this push up, come back down, and then we see this break of structure. I was expecting on the lower time frames for price to come back up a little bit before pushing down, but we can then see that it has come down, it has broken that market structure, and it is broken even further downward and grabbing whatever liquidity that was likely resting here. And we're seeing a reaction at the moment to push up. So at the moment, all I'm doing is, and I can see that we're in a downtrend. We're looking for shorting opportunities on the DXY. And because of these shorting opportunities that we're looking for, we're then looking for long positions across a lot of our other major currency pairs, right? Where the price might end up going then, if we continue this downward trajectory on the DXY, is we're likely looking toward where this yellow line is right here. This is where I've put as the final destination, I guess, for the DXY for its downtrend before we begin to see a potential reversal into the upside. So we could see the DXY pushing down quite aggressively toward this line here, or we could see it re-entering this weekly demand zone before we see a nice reaction back into the upside. So I'm looking for those shorting opportunities on the DXY and looking for those long opportunities on our major currency pairs at the moment. Yeah, there's a lot of information here, guys. Very sorry about it. Is there a way for me to hide? hide this. I don't think I can really hide the pricing stuff here. However, yeah, I am currently in this position at the moment on GBP USD. What I was expecting was to see that initial pull. I'm just going to remove this for now. It's getting in the way. And I'll remove this one. It's just getting in the way. Oh my goodness. So based on what we've seen so far is that there was an aggressive push up, right, guys? There's this huge push into the upside, and we see these breaks of structure all the way pushing up. So we are trending in an upward trajectory. We are looking for those long opportunities on the GBP USD. And so we saw this whole section here, this impulsive structure, this huge surge into the upside. And what we wanted to do is analyze where the potential pullback might occur, as in price needs to come back down and it needs to grab liquidity resting below these previous lows. And we can see just by using the Fibonacci retracement that the price actually came back to the 0.5 fib, which was fantastic. It had grabbed the liquidity that was resting below these lows here. You can see that, and we can see these nice price action candle wicks had formed. And this was a really nice indication that the price has now come back. It has grabbed that liquidity. It's finished its pullback, and now wants to continue into the upside. And this is the reason why I entered into this this position. Right, just general supply and demand trading along with combined with liquidity, and that's the overall strategy that I've been implementing, and works out very, very well. So um, obviously, I mean, scalping, quite a lot of guys. Quite recently, we've been putting out a lot of content around scalping, and I can tell a lot of you guys out there really are interested in scalping. Really something that would be pretty awesome if I could get a partner to bring in and do some scalping with you guys in the future on a live streaming session. But at the moment, unfortunately, you guys are stuck with my swing trading setups, which can be kind of slow, but I find to be quite accurate. So if you guys want to follow the supply and demand trading on the higher time frames, then absolutely be my guest. Heading over to USD JPY, right? So I mean, I've said this numerous times about the USD JPY, especially on my daily market breakdowns. We are just in such a crazy, not crazy, but regardless of what Japan's economy is saying, they did the Japanese yen has had a correction, or a lot of support from the Bank of Japan, sending off a lot of USD bonds, which is why we had this huge push into the downside. And as you guys might know, the Japanese economy is not looking very good, and this is putting so much pressure on the Japanese yen. And I mean, we could have a whole discussion on what they could potentially need to do in order to make their yen a little bit more attractive than previously. So right now, I'm not trading this market. If you guys are, fantastic. If you guys are looking for those long opportunities on the USD JPY, I completely understand, because after we see these huge amounts of correction into the downside, supported by not only the Bank of Japan, but also by the Fed, we often see a slow retracement back into the upside, right? And so this is a little bit, in my opinion, very close to just gambling, right? Like, I think it's just going to continue going up. The technical analysis kind of goes out the window at the moment on the USD JPY. So I'm not potentially trading this, and I'm barely kind of analyzing this, but based on my previous daily market breakdowns, I have suggested that we're likely going to see a nice continuation back up to this previous high over here, before then seeing a nice reaction once we hit this previous high. And whatever that looks like, look, let me clean up the charts here a little bit for you guys. Right, so what we're likely going to see occur is something like this, right? We're just going to see some kind of movement into the upside. And while we're going up, we are going to be producing a lot of these nice pullback lows, and quite multiple times throughout multiple times these lows will likely accumulate a lot of stop loss orders, hence liquidity, right? And so I think what we're going to see is a nice sharp reaction once we enter into this area here. So if you are looking for those longs, that's kind of what I would be wary of. I would likely be in those long positions, and I would follow it up to roughly around this point here. And then potentially look for those shorting opportunities, or just wait for the pullback. So I think there's going to be a pretty deep pullback once the USD JPY once the yen gets to about this point here. But regardless, we are going to see the devaluation of the yen over the next couple of months, right? Like they've not shown absolutely any indication of what they're going to do after they dumped their bonds to support their economy. And so I think the yen is likely going to continue pushing into the downside. So unfortunately, it's not really a technical analysis, it's more of a fundamental analysis. And I don't really like playing around with the fundamental analysis, right? It's just a little bit, it's just not playing very nicely into our usual technical analysis. Let's head over to XAUUSD. So gold, I think, has been performing incredibly well. In fact, before going over to gold, let me take a quick look at the 10-year Treasury bonds for the US. Let's look at the 2-year yields, right, which are going up. Shouldn't be going up. Well, pushing down slightly. Oh, okay. I'm quite impressed by this. So the two-year futures on the bonds market for the US is starting to push up a little bit, which should be pushing the yields down, which it is doing. So this is starting to make the US dollar a little bit more attractive. So what I'm trying to do here, right, is analyze what's happening with the bonds market. If the bonds market is looking relatively attractive, many investors are likely going to go ahead and buy US-backed bonds, and this is going to push the DXY up, right? Even though our analysis suggests it's supposed to be going down. And because that is going to be pushing the bond market up slightly, gold should now start to struggle. And that's what we are actually seeing. We're seeing that the gold has pushed up quite nicely, very aggressively. It's pushed up, and now we're beginning to enter this area of consolidation. In fact, this is a change of character here. And so you should start to be a little bit weary on your long positions and maybe start looking for those shorting opportunities. Let's see what happens over the course of the next couple of days. But what I'm seeing happen here at the moment is that price may want to come back up to roughly around these areas here. And I am assuming, what I'm guessing is that it's going to fail to break. It's going to fail to create a new high. And I think we're just then going to start to see that push into the downside back toward these previous lows down here, which is the 4,200. Okay, so that's my general analysis on XAU at the moment, mainly because I'm combining technicals with fundamentals, and it does look like the bond market is becoming a little bit more attractive for the US dollar. So I think we're in a pretty nice time to look for those long opportunities on the lower time frames, and later on we'll go down into the 15, 5 and 15-minute time frames. Remember, guys, I'm not a scalper. And I certainly do not enjoy playing around with the 1 minute, 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15-minute frames. I'm not very comfortable with them, but we'll go down, we'll take a look. No problem. I like to do a lot of my analysis and entries on the higher time frames. I just feel like you get a bigger picture than when you go in, right? And there's been quite a lot of people within our community who have been playing around with FVGs and IFVG trading strategies, and I think they're wonderful. It's just not a strategy that suits me, or at least my time constraints, right? So if you guys are trading, if you guys are traders, you would know that there's a lot of different strategies out there that just suits your needs, right? Whether or not you're actively able to follow, London Opens, New York Opens, and actually stay with your screen for the next couple of hours, or if you can only do your general technical analysis when the markets are often in their downtime, which is usually the Asian sessions, and then swing trading, maybe supply and demand trading on the higher time frames are for you guys. Anyway, we'll come back to gold because yeah, okay, on the lower time frames, we do want to start looking for those long positions, but I don't think it's going to hold. I think that whatever the long positions are on the lower time frames, I think they are just generally liquidity grabbing and just trying to create a new higher high and failing, right? We can head over to BTC USDT. As you guys know, I don't trade crypto. I invest in crypto, but I don't trade it. And I've been explaining and I've been reiterating this point. I do believe by sometime toward the end of this year, we're going to see BTC retrace back toward the $80,000 mark. I generally do believe that. I think a lot of the money that is pouring out of the market at the moment are just people profiting, liquidating their positions, some of these big AI IPOs that we've been seeing. And I think quite a lot of them are generally open to being in a risk on environment. We're not risk off at the moment. At least that's what I think. That's how I feel. And we can see that because the DXY has just been pushing down. Bonds market were previously pushing down. So I do think money will begin pouring back into the crypto markets, and I do believe BTC will likely retrace back toward the $80,000 mark sometime toward the end of this year, right? And that we can dive into this. I know you guys like the lower time frames, but let me drop out to the weekly. What we had seen, it's not looking good, is it? For the BTC, we can just see that it has fallen off an absolute cliff. We had seen a huge change of character and a massive break to structure, that continuation pushing that pressure sell-off of BTC, pushing it all the way down to what the 50, just below the $60,000 mark. And what we were waiting for is where's the bed, right? Where's the key area of support? And so on BTC, why does my mouse keep going off? On BTC, we identified that this potential weekly demand zone, so this blue box here, acted as a very strong area of support. And this was the pivotal point that we were waiting for to see whether or not BTC will eventually reverse back into the upside. And we are starting to see the signs of this, right? We can see that fine, the price pushed down, beautiful price action candle, pushing it back up. There was a lot of drive there. And I think then what happened was the conflict started to ramp up within the Middle East around here. This was the US-Iran thing. So a lot of people were selling it became a risk-off environment. A lot of people were, and as we know, crypto is usually the first thing people sell off. So I think that's what we're seeing here. Let me just change my mouse. I don't know why it keeps going off. Let's see. Here we go. So we were in that risk-off environment, a lot of sell-off happening for the BTC, and now we're seeing that the price is beginning to stabilize again. We're in a bit of consolidation, and on the lower time frames, we are seeing that price is now pushing up, as in we're seeing that it pushed up, broke market structure, changed characters on the daily time frames, and we are now seeing that no new lower lows are being formed. And this is a relatively good sign that we could begin seeing BTC completely changing character from a downtrend or a bearish market back into a bullish. So there is high potential here. I don't trade BTC, but I do generally I do analyze it. And so if you are looking to trade these pullbacks and consolidation, then sure, be my guest, and I'm sure you've got a strategy for that. But at this point in time, we're just in those early signs to see whether or not we're going to see that reversal back toward the $80,000 mark, and it's, in my opinion, is looking relatively quite promising. So yeah, I'm not a crypto analyst, but in the future we will hopefully bring on some people that can go through BTC, Ethereum. I saw quite a lot of you guys are trading Ethereum and Solana, which is fantastic. But my knowledge on these crypto pairs is not strong enough to do a good enough analysis for you guys. But I can just give you my general sixth sense and overview of what I think is going to be happening to BTC. All right, so we're already about, what, 13 minutes into the London session opening. Let's take a quick look here. So on the hour, very, very annoying because we're seeing that it is struggling to break above this previous high. That is really annoying. And what we often see, especially within the London session, is that horrid manipulation that might bring us back toward a losing trade before pushing up higher. So let's see at how far that might go. But this is looking very beautiful for anybody who identified on the hourly time frame that there was potential liquidity resting above this area. And if you were in those shorting opportunities at the moment, then my general target for this would be around here. Right, so if you're in those shorting opportunities at the moment for GBP USD on the hour frame, we're likely going to see a potential retracement to around this area. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it will just continue back into the upside and break market structure and I TP. But I know I won't be TPing for at least another 2 or 3 days, so it's okay. I'll just stay within this position for the time being. Euro dollar, yeah, we're going to be experiencing a very similar type of trajectory. What's interesting is that it is failing to break this previous high up here on the hour time frame. And so we could see a potential pullback one more time before we break that market structure. So if you are into those shorting opportunities, I would be a bit careful of where you put your TP. I wouldn't, debatable. I wouldn't put it this far down. I would take this as its own little impulsive structure using the fib, and I think the retracement will bring it back to the 0.5 Fibonacci. The reason why I identified this area is because we have this beautiful white wick candle here that caused a beautiful breaker structure into the upside, and so this can be considered an area of interest. And so if we are going to be coming back, this is likely where it's going to pull back to. If not, then fine. You guys are likely going to be correct by putting your TP down here where this blue box is at the moment, right? So if you are in those shorting opportunities on the lower time frames, like the minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, and you're looking for a potential area for TP, this could be your potential area for TP in those shorting positions. If you're in long positions, or if you haven't entered a long position yet, I would hold off and wait for this potential pullback unless we see a breaker structure up here. If we see a breaker structure up here, then I would likely continue. Hopefully we'll see the price continue back up to one of these previous areas of liquidity, these potential weekly liquidity zones. Okay, so that's generally what I would be waiting for. In fact, that's what I am waiting for. And once we see that this price retraces back, I'll probably enter into a position myself on the euro dollar. USD JPY, as I said previously, it is just one of those markets that I just don't want to be playing around with at the moment, considering that it just feels so unpredictable as to when an intervention is going to occur and just, crazily stop people out. I mean, just look at these long, massive wick candles. Absolutely incredible. But regardless, I mean, what we're seeing here just tells us only a piece of the story of what's happening in Japan and its economy. My mouse has stopped working again. Here we go. I'll tell you what I've not analyzed for a little while is AUD/NZD. I had entered into a position quite some time ago, and it seems we did TP, even though we almost got stopped out. Oh my God. I haven't actually continued doing an analysis, but it does seem as though the previous analysis did play out quite nicely, where it pushed up and then it came back down. I was hoping it might have come down a little bit further, but clearly not. It's now starting to push back up again. And let me remove some of this. I'll start analyzing AUD/NZD because honestly, I've had so much fun playing around with this currency pair. It's just been fantastic. Almost every technical analysis that I run with it, it seems to almost be perfect. And I don't want to jinx it, but it almost does seem perfect. What I'm a little cautious about at the moment is that we are seeing this potential almost 3-touch trend line. And when we see something like this, we might see quite an aggressive pullback to maybe this line around here. And this looks like a pretty nice area of interest, actually, because within here, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 touch points. And so if we see the price coming back down toward this area, then I might be inclined to enter into a long position. We'll take a look. Just look at how AUD has just been valuing so aggressively over the last couple of weeks and pushing up. So entering into those long opportunities on AUD NZD has been just a dream come true, right? But I've not actually entered into a position, not since earlier this month. So that's on me, guys. I didn't do a proper analysis of AUD NZD because I was trying to create some new lessons around order flow and how you scalpers can utilize order flow to enter into positions. Okay, I'm not a scalper, so I myself have to go and do that research, and we want to try and put together some educational lessons on how to read order flow. And I am hoping one day, AIFO, our prop firm, offers order flow to our users. One day, okay? We're not there yet, all right? Because you want level 2, you want deep data. You don't want level 1 shit, right? You don't want, sorry, you don't want level 1 data. You want more deep data, especially if you're trading on the lower time frames, especially on XAU, right? As you guys know. What's moving the AUD NZD at the moment? The Australian economy is doing incredibly well. It's pushing up very, very nicely. I haven't looked particularly into their fundamentals as much as I should have been, but from what I had observed, their economy was doing relatively quite well. And I think something happened in New Zealand a couple of weeks back, and this was something that we saw over here. I think it was their balance of trade or something like that. It came out and it actually valued the New Zealand dollar, and then the Aussie dollar brought out some economic data, and it looked incredibly good. I'll have to go back and take a look. Honestly, whatever's driving is always going to be fundamental, always going to be the fundamental stuff. So I can go back and take an analysis on that a little bit later. But when we look at it from a technical perspective, when we're applying technicals to AUD NZD, it plays out so nicely, especially if you use supply and demand zone trading. So guys, you can mark this out. You can take a screenshot. Let's have a look and see if this actually happens. If we see the price kind of rebound a little bit before coming down a little bit more, quite a deeper pullback toward this zone, then I would likely enter into a really nice long position, aiming for at least a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio. I usually go for 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2, but if we do see the pullback come down to here, I'm happy to take the risk. Happily take the risk. AUD USD I've not been playing around with at all, and USD CAD I have not been doing analysis on USD CAD, so you can't ask me unfortunately on this pair. But we did have quite a few requests for me to start doing a little bit more technical analysis and daily market breakdowns on and include USD CAD, because at the moment I'm analyzing, I think, about 8 different currency pairs. Commodities indices, Forex pairs, and crypto. So I don't want to do, overburden myself, because this kind of stuff takes such a substantial amount of time. Anyway, yeah, I'll quickly go back through some of our trades at the moment. We're in an uptrend across majority of our major currency pairs, and so we are looking for those long opportunities at this point in time on GBP USD. We are hoping that there might be a slight pullback. So if you are in a shorting opportunity at the moment, I've already identified where the potential TP for your short might occur on the hour frame on GBP USD. Okay, so we might see a pullback toward this area. If you are in those shorting opportunities. If you guys are looking for entries into longs, I would wait if you're not already in a long position at the moment on GBP USD. Euro dollar, exact same thing. We're just waiting for that little pullback. As you can see here, I was kind of hoping that we'd have a little bit more of a stronger pullback, grabbing whatever liquidity that was resting below here before pushing up, but it does seem as though we are now breaking structure, failing to create a new lower low and pushing up. So we might have another little pullback, which is this yellow line here, to then symbolize that we're going to now continue into the upside. Okay, so this is my general technical analysis. When we do eventually re-enter into this area, let me just set an alarm here. when we do enter back into this area or this zone, that's when I'll probably enter into a position myself into the upside. I did get some. Oh, SpaceX is doing pretty well. Obviously, we don't offer space. I don't think we offer SpaceX at the moment as a financial instrument to trade. But wow, okay, good to know. Wow, look at that. SpaceX doing very, very well, very nicely. NDQ, unfortunately, AIFO doesn't offer futures contracts at the moment. Something that we will likely consider into the future. So it's mainly just on the CFD stuff. So NDQ, EQ mini, and that's why I don't add this to the live streams and daily market breakdowns. But it is quite interesting to see, because if we see quite a substantial drop in indices, then what do we expect to happen? Right? People are liquidating their positions from the stock market into what currency? USD. And where did they put their money? They either put it into the bonds market and during really uncertain times, or they put it into other more higher returning assets like gold, for example, right? Although I do think quite a lot of this push down is going back into the US the bonds market at the moment. Because look at this, bonds market is starting to push up. This is quite scary because DXY is pushing down quite aggressively. Sorry guys, let me try and clean this up. This was from earlier. I have a habit of making my charts incredibly messy sometimes, so very sorry about that, guys. And I know it can be very hard to see. Oh, we don't want to delete this. Yeah. So based on these technicals, we are seeing that DXY is pushing down, right? We are seeing quite a lot of selling pressure on the DXY. Now, to what stage is the DXY going to go down to, right? I do have a feeling that we're going to see it hopefully push down to one of these previous lows down here, and eventually down back into this weekly demand zone before we see a complete trend reversal back into the upside. But I have some friends who are telling me that we have already seen that the low, which is this point here, and because of this, that was the liquidity, and they believe that we're going to now start to see the trend reversing from this area. So I need to pay very close attention to this, as it's going to play into a lot of how we trade our major currency pairs, like our GBP USD and our Euro USD, right? So, but don't worry, guys. Like, this is why I do the daily market breakdowns, right? Almost 2 or 3 times a week, I'll do a morning breakdown of all the currency pairs, and we put that out on our YouTube channel for you guys to just kind of watch when you wake up in the morning, and then you can get a general understanding on, you know, where the DXY is going, or whatever currency pair that you guys are trading, where that's going to go as well. So I think it's still going to continue pushing down, but you know, trading is very subjective to the trader, right? We've just seen this aggressive move down, pushing down. I mean, I can be a little bit concerned about the 200 EMA, but no, I think we're seeing quite a lot of breaks of structures, and on the DXY, it is just forming a lot of new lower lows, and right, so we're seeing a lot of selling pressure on the DXY at the moment. It's just the bond market. That's the only thing that's got me worried, you know? Yeah, it's just the bonds market. Head over to gold. All right, so all right, guys, like I'll drop down to the 15-minute frame for you guys so we can kind of watch it together. But I do not really trade. I used to trade on the lower time frames exclusively, and one of my trading strategies, until I found out it was just luck, was just if there was a breaker structure, I would just trade where the breaker structure was going. on the 5 and 15-minute frames, and I think my win rate was something like 30%. Not 30%, sorry. Gosh, it's about 40% or 45% for a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, which was pretty good. And until it completely started to fail and no longer worked. So I've actually got one of these things here called Lux Algo Smart Money Concepts, and it automatically adds potential areas of like change of character, break of structure. It automatically adds it for me onto my charts. If you guys were wondering why my charts are automatically generating these boxes and these lines. And so what this is saying at the moment is that this is a potential supply zone on the 15-minute frame, and it is telling us that we're likely going to see a reaction to here, and we could end up seeing the price coming back down toward this area here, right? Because we got a change of character, and so the change of character is telling us that we are now on the lower time frames supposed to be going down. Okay, keep in mind, guys, on the lower time frame, change of characters happen all the time. Okay, so it can quite easily change character just as fast as it changed character into the downside, right? So that's what this is at the moment. So in this general concept, this is a supply zone. This is where the gold price would likely end up before seeing a reaction back into the downside. And we can watch it and we can follow it to see if it is accurate or not. What I'll do is I'll kind of mark. No, I'm not really feeling this area so much. I need to bring this back a little bit. Here we go. Yeah, I guess that is a pretty good area. Then, ooh, what happened to my volume profile? It's all gone back to red and green. It used to just be orange. Yeah, because you got a line of point of. So when you're on the lower frames, using these types of tools, which is I think is a volume weighted profile. I actually forgot the name of what this is actually called. But these are incredibly helpful to kind of identify where we might see the next reaction if it does eventually pull back. So if it does pull back, and this seems like a pretty nice area as I drew out just now, and we can confirm that with the this indicator, the volume weighted profile indicator, and that would be a pretty nice area to enter into that position. So let's imagine if we just did something like this. I'm not actually entering, by the way, guys. I'm just doing an example. One to two. Whatever. I'll just leave it at that. There we go. So as you guys know, I don't trade on the 5 and 15-minute frames. It's crazy how I put the stop, the entry here, and then all of a sudden it just explodes into the upside. That's great for my ego. So you see what's happened now is the smart money concept indicator has removed that red. Remember there was a red box down here? Now it's removed it. Sneaky. And then it's saying that this is likely the next location for it to begin pushing down. But it's okay. Like, so for example, if we're doing 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, if we get stopped out here and then the price comes back up to here and then we enter into again, then we still make 0.5 profit from that, right? I guess I can now cover that and we can go and take a look at other currency pairs while that is playing out. GBP, why are you not pushing down? Still waiting for GBP to push down back toward that area of interest. I did not put that out right, did I? There we go. Yeah, again, volume profile says that it's pretty accurate to the point where there would be the most buying pressure. So if we see that treacle back down to this level, we can see here the point of control where you'd likely want to then enter into a long position. So everything seems to align, the market just needs to align. um, Again, we'll wait and see. But as I said previously, if you're in those shorting opportunities, this would likely be a very logical place to TP. And if you are looking for those long opportunities, then this would be a logical place to enter into that long position. But overall, as we've seen on the higher time frames, we are in an uptrend on the GBP and majority of our major currency pairs. Euro dollar, exact same thing on the 15-minute frame. We're just waiting for that pullback down to this level here, to where this previous area of demand occurred. And again, it just aligns very nicely. Look, breaker structure, pushing up. It's beautiful. Everything aligns technically with our strategy. So we're just waiting. Again, if you're in a short opportunity at the moment on euro dollar, and then this would be a logical place to TP. Do apologize, guys. I mean, if we do eventually get a scalping educator on, then I can bring them on as a co-host, and we can, I can give you guys a general overview direction of where the market's going to go. But if we had a scalper co-host, they'll be able to do some scalping with you guys on the minute frames, which I think is super exciting. And I really did want to get into scalping, but it's just not for me. It's just not for me, guys. So unfortunately, you're stuck with the slow market movements and boring overview analysis that I'm providing through my supply and demand trading. Tell you while we're waiting for this. Okay, we can head to USD JPY at the moment. Oh gosh, on the 50-minute frame. Wow, if you're looking for those shorts, not bad, huh? Not bad. This is a strong low. Okay, so it seems as though the price wants to continue pushing down, and this apparently is one of the key areas identified by this indicator. And we can generally confirm that in a way. I don't think so, actually. No, I don't think so. I think where it is right now is a very nice reversal point. Yeah. Oh, it plays. Look at that. Plays very nicely here. Yeah, I think there would be a general reversal from this zone. I would just generally wait. I'll just wait and see. I really don't like trading USD JPY at the moment. Like before the intervention, oh my gosh, entering into those long opportunities was just so easy to find. But now after the intervention, I mean the recent one, by the way, not the intervention that happened a couple of weeks ago. Oh, look at that. Just horrible, right? Just absolutely horrible. And this is why you have stop losses, by the way, guys. If you didn't have a stop loss and that happened, ooh, oh, I bet you guys were upset. But you can see they intervened again, roughly around April, and they did it again in January. I swear there was something about them getting not sanctioned, but they were told by the IMF that this was they're not allowed to be doing this, and just keep doing it. Bank of Japan just keeps liquidating their USD positions. Anyway, so we won't play around with that one too much. DXY again, more high level analysis rather than the 15-minute frames or the lower time frames. I do have some trading partners who trade DXY exclusively and only. So it's pretty awesome to hear their inputs, and we'll be bringing out some lessons, and I think I'll be doing an interview with an institutional trader in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be bringing that content out to you guys as well. And I think you guys are going to love it. He's going to offer some fantastic insights and advice into the world of institutional trading, which I think prop traders can, just massively value from. So bear with AIFO while we plan that and put that all together. We should have that coming out in the next couple of weeks or so. So I'll keep you guys posted. And also, he will be doing a video based on his strategy as well, which is the harmonic Elliott wave. Hugely complex strategy, but the win rate is almost like 80 to 90%. It's, and when you guys see it, you'll understand why. It's incredibly hard to follow, but wow, 80 to 90% win rate. It's incredible. So he'll be bringing that out. It'll be a simplified version, and then we'll try and get into more of the complexities of his trading strategy into the future, and it's all around DXY. How are we doing here? Let's drop back down to the 15 minutes, 15-minute frame. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're starting to see that resistance, that those long wicked price action candles occurring, which hopefully will indicate that price wants to push back down before pushing up. XAU. Oh my goodness. Oh, almost got stopped out there. Look at that. Oof. Wow. Well, it certainly created a new higher high. Yeah, look at that. Created a new higher high, little new higher high, and now we're just seeing a huge rejection. It's being massively rejected here. We can drop down to the 5-minute frame. Oh wow, yeah, that's a nasty looking 5-minute candle. So technically still in, but wow, that was a very close call. Hopefully we'll see that now just continue and push into the downside. And we want to try and keep our TP above this point of control line, as we believe once the price retraces back to this area, we'll likely see quite a strong amount of demand or support for it. Yeah. So you guys are welcome to share some of your trading strategies in the chat. I've come across quite a lot. There was some people who just trade out of intuition, who I know, who I've spoken with before, and that's fine. If you have intuition trading, it's a bit odd to me, but I just found it quite funny when they told me that. I saw that there's some pretty cool influencers doing something called orb strategy, and I think that's pretty awesome. So I see some of their content online. So if you guys are orb strategy traders, that's pretty awesome. I think you're kind of restrictive though on orb trading, because you can only really trade it within the first couple of minutes of the market's opens. Some fantastic IFVG traders out there. I forget the names, but I love the content. Whenever anybody is talking about IFVGs, inverse fair value gaps, guys. And again, I'll bring out some short form content around IFVGs and try and do a bit of back testing content for you guys as well. So if you can see in a back testing environment me doing IFVG trading, we can take a look, and we can create a lot of content around the success rates of each trading strategy in back testing environments, which would likely take me a very, very long time to do, but happy to do it because I also want to know which one's the best. Settle a debate. I think AI trading is probably the best now, though. We'll see. AIFO, we've allowed EA trading now. So if you have an EA, we're allowing this type of trading on our platform now, which is basically programmatic trading, algorithmic trading, which was previously banned in prop trading. Hey, there we go. Almost got stopped out, and now we're starting to see the 5-minute candle moving in our direction. So technically in profit now. I'm not actually in this trade, by the way, guys. I don't wanna kind of be deceptive to you guys. I just want to show you an example. I usually trade on the higher frames. But I was just showing you a general example of how I would analyze and enter into position on the lower time frames. So I'm currently on the 5-minute frame. We might now start to see a bit of resistance approaching this area here, mainly because I can just see that these price action candles just look like they want to create a new support area, a new area of support for XAU. Yeah, we'll also try and bring out some content around order flow. I think order flow is really interesting. I think it's very, very interesting. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it's kind of like insights into where stops could be on the chart and where institutions absorb large orders, right? I think it's really insightful. But if you don't have the depth of data, then it's useless. Anybody who is saying, "Hey, here's some level 1 order flow data," I don't think it's good enough, fast enough, to use as analysis. So I'll just stay on gold for the time being. If you guys do want me to take a look at your trading strategies, or if you want to share it in the group chat, go ahead. Reject, go down, push down. You know what's frustrating is I've lost the option for mines here. I used to have the option here. I don't know, because I'm on an essential, I don't know what tier I'm on, but I think I'm on essential. Like, I actually paid for TradingView, but I don't understand why I've lost mines. Where's that button gone? I used to really enjoy reading the community chats on TradingView. I would never generally follow the TradingView community chats. But it's really interesting to see what people are saying. I think it's really important to have a community when you're trading, especially if you're an independent trader, right? If you're just like, trading, you get the screens like I do, right? You get your own screens and you're doing, your daily trading. It's really cool to have a community where you can just share your ideas, have a chat, have a call, have a meeting, have a live stream with. Yeah, I think it's super important, right? And one of the best ways to improve your trading is through other people as well, through other people. Yeah, so it's a shame. I don't know why I've lost that button. I think it's really funny to watch what the community chat is saying. Ah, okay, fine. We've hit that area of resistance at the moment. If it's trending up, then okay, fair enough. Should have actually paper trade entered here. That might have been pretty good. Are we looking on GBP USD? Ah, we got a long way to go. Ah, it's a very long way to go. I don't think we're going to see any TP or any large movement until the New York session. It's just my general sixth sense there. We are just trending down at the moment. We are on the lower time frame, on the 5-minute frames. We are just trending down. We are seeing lower highs. We do want to kind of see a bit of a stronger break below here, and then, yep, fine. I think would be in the clear back down to one of these lows here before we see New York session come in and alter the trajectory of London's manipulation. Euro dollar, yeah, very similar thing. Euro dollar and GBP often follow a very similar pattern. If you're looking for longs on GBP, you're likely looking for longs on the euro dollar. So we can jump back. We'll jump back to the gold for now. What, 1 minute, 15 seconds until the next 5 minute candle. And then we've pretty much been streaming now for at least an hour. Oh, I guarantee, I tell you what, I guarantee it's going to stop me out now. Yeah, I got another minute until the next candle forms on XAUUSD. But I always find that my technical analysis is often relatively okay. It's pretty good. But then when I'm actually going to enter into a trade, it just, just spirals. It's like, oh man, technical analysis was actually accurate when I'm not in a trade. And when I am in a trade, it's like, oh no, he's trying to profit from his analysis. So we're gonna stop him out, and then we're gonna, you know, fill out, complete his trade. But I'll do more technical analysis for you guys on the minor currency pairs, AUD, NZD, absolutely. Although, okay, USD Swiss franc is a major pair, but yeah, I'll try and start doing more USD Swiss franc. I found some pretty nice luck on that, and I'll try and include USD CAD as well. But I usually just do the higher time frame analysis, guys. So when I do my daily market breakdowns, like I'll just give you the general direction, what I'm waiting for on those higher time frames, and more often than not, and this is why I should include a little bit more currency pairs, because more often than not, you need to wait for at least a day or two before entering into a trade, and that's the boring part. That's where patience really plays a huge role in my trading strategy, right? And I usually look at 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2 risk to reward ratios. And in terms of my prop trading accounts, I usually cycle those accounts. So I usually only have about 3 or 4 that I would trade with. Place a trade with 1 or 2, succeed or fail, I move on to the next 2. Succeed or fail, I move on to the next 2, like that. And I just cycle through them until one of them fails, and then I bring another one in. That's how I do it. Just to kind of, instead of risking so much on just one prop account, I just try and cycle through 3 or 4 at a time. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we've seen now the next 5 minute candle. Struggling there a little bit. Take a look at the 1 minute frame. I wouldn't trade the 1 minute frame at all, but you can see, yeah, because if I applied my own little technical analysis here, you can see really nice strong candle breaker structure, push up, failing, and now if we see another strong candle below here, then yeah, we are gonna see that push down. That's how I would analyze the minute frame, but I feel like there's like a whole different logic on the minute time frame. So you just kind of gotta constantly just wait and see. Ooh, nice Marabouzo bullish candle here. Just gotta generally just wait and see on these frames. Yeah, if it breaks here, then I would be quite confident to continue into a shorting opportunity on XAUUSD. Yeah, it's a lot more fun, isn't it, on the lower frames? Oh, it's a hell of a lot more fun. Yeah, because you can just see the actual movement of the price. Unfortunately, it's just not a strategy that I employ myself. But in the future, AIFO will expand our team a little bit more, and we'll bring in a scalper who can do live trading with you guys, and go through his or her trading strategies with you guys. I myself, I do respect the scalper. You guys got to be so fast in how you're trading. I think it's wonderful. you know. But anyway, guys, we're coming toward the end of the live streaming. I would love to stay on and just chat with you guys, but um, unfortunately, we're only going to do just over an hour of the London live trading session, and usually we see quite a lot of movement within the hour when London opens. The next trading session is, of course, New York, which opens in the next several hours. What time are we on now? 7 to 9. So yeah, in the next about 3.5 hours, I think it's 1:30 this time, 1 o'clock UK time, we'll we'll have the New York session. So eventually, I do want to cover the New York session, and I will expand our live streaming sessions eventually into the future to just to be a little bit longer. But it's not looking like we'll do that anytime soon. Um, when we expand the team a little bit more, we'll bring on we'll cover the New York session, and we'll have a little bit more time to stay with you guys for at least a couple of hours, going through all of your trading strategies. You can look at our trading strategies, and we're very, very transparent, very happy to open it up and show you guys. And for any prop traders out there, right, go and get yourself with AIFO. I think what would be fantastic is if we drop some future discount codes into our live streaming sessions to attract you guys, to pick up a a 10, 20K account and trade with us. I think is super exciting. Anyway, guys, I've really enjoyed doing this live trading session with you all. Unfortunately, my time is up, but not to worry. We were doing this weekly, and I'm also doing those daily market breakdowns, as I said before. So if we see a slight a new direction, let's say on the DXY, if that was the support level and we're going to start seeing that push into the upside, then just stay tuned to my daily market breakdowns, because I will do that preliminary analysis, and they're only about 8 minutes long, and so you'll be able to take a look at those technical analysis on what I'm looking at for the day and throughout the rest of the week. So yeah, join me next Wednesday, for another live streaming session. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and yeah, more than welcome to join our communities and keep the discussion going there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye for now.